成长让我多了些回忆，但却让我少了你。So 1公里的距离 that means a 1 kilometer distance apart. It's like talking about two people that are that far apart from each other. Yeah, if people want, I can explain the rest of it later. But anyway, let's get on with our lesson. Yeah, so we're going to be figuring out something about congruence with triangles. That means we're going to figure out if they are the same or not. So let's review the Pythagorean theorem real quick. We're going to be using this a lot. So remember, you can choose either side as A and B. I'm just going to do that as A, this as B. And then remember, this is the hypotenuse, so that's our C value, so to speak. So formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is 3 in this case. B is 4 in this case. C is the one that we don't know. We have been doing, we can square root this. And C is 5. Okay, great. Now let's look at this one. So now we have C, so that's that. And this could be A or B. I'm just going to make that A because why not? And this is our B value. That's what we're looking for in this case. So write down the formula as usual, just because that will help you remember it a lot better. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A is 5. B is what we are looking for, so we just leave it there. And then 13 squared. All right, so let's see. 25 plus b squared equals, that's going to be 169. We can subtract 25 from both sides. And then that is going to be 144. Square root both sides. And b equals 12. I'm going to make that b look better. Okay, so that is 12. Great. So Pythagorean theorem, that's what we got there. Okay, so let's go on to using this stuff now. So the SSS triangle congruence theorem. So two triangles are congruent. That means they're the same if each corresponding side is congruent. So this S, you have 3 S's. This means side, side, side. You'll see what it means, what I mean by that when we actually do the examples. All right, let's go with this now. So we have a triangle here and a triangle here. Complete the triangle. What that means is find any missing side or angle. In this case, we're just going to do sides. Then write the appropriate congruence statement to verify that they're congruent by SSS. So complete the triangle. Let's figure out what's missing first. There's that, there's that. So how are we going to figure this out? Our favorite thing, the Pythagorean theorem. So this is C. We got A, we got B. Doesn't matter, again, what A or B is. Okay, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So that's 4 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. 16 plus 9 equals C squared. 25 equals C squared. So square root everything. C equals 5. Okay, here we have our, let's just make that B. There's our C value. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A we don't know. B is 3 in this case. And C is 5. Okay, so we got a squared plus, that's going to be 9 equals 25. Subtract 9 from both sides. A squared equals 16. Square root both sides. A equals 4. So are congruent. It's just we need to verify them to show, yes, they actually are. Okay, so let's see. We're looking at A, B, C. So let's look. What is AB? AB is 4. FD. In this direction, AB, C. So FD, E. So we see that all three sides are congruent. So we see we have 4, 3, and 5. So the congruent statement just tells us, okay, so which angles together in order makes that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So here we have something that's a little bit more challenging. So it's not just straight up you're given Pythagorean theorem. Here, yes, you will be using it. It's just going to be a bit more complicated, we can say. Okay, so let's do this. Let's call this A. Let's call this B. Actually, let's call that X. Let's color code this. Okay, so we need to find the entire missing sides. So let's do that real quick. So that's A, 15. 15 is going to be our B value, and then 39 is C. Okay, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A is what we're looking for, plus B is 15 squared equals 39 squared. A squared plus, that is 225 equals, I believe that's 1521. By I believe, what I really mean is I used the calculator earlier so that I can do this quickly. So we have A squared equals, that means A equals 36. So that over there is going to be 36. Okay, how about that X? So I guess we have X squared plus B squared equals, let's call that Z equals Z squared. So you don't have to use A, B, and C. You can use any letters you want, actually. I just don't suggest Z, O or S, because O looks like 0, S looks like 5. Okay, so X squared plus 15 squared equals Z is 17. That is 289, I believe. It's useful to memorize the perfect squares, like 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, all the way until 20, just because that's it's helpful to know those ones. Okay, so X squared equals, that's going to be 64. Square root that all. X equals 8. So this value here is 8. Okay, great. Now let's look for these things. Let's call this one A, and let's call this one C. So we're only missing those two sides. Let's find those. So let's see, we have 18 and 17. That can help us find A, because Pythagorean theorem. So 8, let's call that B. And 17, let's call that Oh, I used C already. Let's call that D. Why not? An exercise in using different variables. A squared plus B squared equals D squared. A squared plus, we know that's 8 squared equals 17 squared. All right, so A squared plus, that's going to be 64 equals 289 minus 64. A squared equals, let's see, that's 225. Square root that all. A equals 15. Okay, great. So we got that. We got these ones now. So I guess we can still call this thing A. And let's call this one now X. I'm going to draw some lines so that we have space here. So make sure that you have space yourself, because otherwise that's going to be messy. You're at home, you can just add whatever paper you want. In X is 36 equals C squared. So 225 plus let's see, 36 squared, 1296 equals C squared. Okay, let's add those together, and we get let's see, 1521 equals C squared. That means C equals square root that, and we get 39. So that is 39. So let's look at what we have here then, now that we've done this all. We have 39, we have 17, and we have 36 plus 8. So we have GHJ. GHJ. So we got to figure out what G, H, and J corresponds to here. Let's see. So GH is the 39. And then the one after H, HJ is 17. So it looks like it goes in this direction. GH, HJ. So 39 to 17. So if we go this way, we have 39 to 17. So that means we have GHJ is congruent to, let's start at K, and then M, L. Okay, so this is essentially what you're going to do. In the we do section over here, I'm just going to do this real quickly. And yeah, this video is getting a lot longer than I want it to get. So feel free to skip this part if you're okay with the other one. And just do the quiz. Okay, I'm just going to do this real quick here. Minimal explanation. So Pythagorean Theorem, we're going to be doing that on all this. So let's call this C, let's call this, I don't know, A. Let's call this one B. X, Z. I'm just making up letters here. Okay, so x squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm just gonna do this real quick there. 35 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. That's gonna be okay. So I'm not really going to explain this part too much just because I don't want this to get ridiculously long. Calculator. That's the explanation for literally all of this. Calculator. Great, so that's 37. Because square root. Okay, and then let's see. Next part, a, b, z. A squared, and then we have b squared, so that's 12 squared, 13 squared, 144, what is this, 169. I know that you know that that's minus 144, but because I know that there are going to be some people going like, I don't know what that is, to try to find a non-existent excuse, I'm going to rewrite it. We all know exactly who is going to try to do that. All right, a equals 20 equals 5. So we got a 5 there. Great. So we got, let's see, 37, 35, and then does Pythagorean Theorem that thing? So let's just call these things again. A, B, C, X, Z. Okay, so X squared, B squared, Z squared. We need to use that because we only have one side here. Okay, so I'm just gonna write that here then. 35 squared plus b squared equals 37 squared. Calculator plus b squared equals calculator. More calculator work because calculator. Okay, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 25 plus 144 equals c squared. 169 equals c squared. Square root that. C equals 13. Okay, so let's see. ABC. A goes to B with 37, and then B goes to C with 13. So let's look for 37 to 13, that direction. So we're going this direction. So Z starts it all, then goes to Y, then to X. So triangle ABC to this. Alright, Canvas quiz. You can retake it if you need to. That's all we got today. See you all later. Sorry for the longish video.